Since the start of the pandemic, introduction of different employee reportings about what they accomplished during the day and installing different tracking softwares to their computers brought to the last drop, after which I said, that's it. I don't want to contribute to such a place anymore. When I received that electronic thank you certificate, I didn't think about anything except the fact that I would gladly research studies about corporate psychopaths and how to recognize them. I was terrified as a mother, as an employee, because I didn't know how to manage my life anymore. It's been 9 months since I quit my corporate job as a human resources professional, and here's what I learned. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, the best place if you want to know how to get the maximum from your job. In today's video, I want to reflect back on the last 9 months since I said goodbye to my corporate job and living this, how I call it, a magical corporate world behind me after working for more than a decade there. I want to share what kind of personal transformations I underwent since liberating myself from the corporate ties. So I shared my journeys on different social media accounts, on my first YouTube channel and on my Instagram account, where I shared my excitement about my new job and the interview process. Nothing sensitive, just how I felt working in the new environment since I moved to North America from Asia. But today I'm making a large video to sum up everything that I can share with you. The key reason I decided to quit my HR job after struggling with it for months is that I felt so mature and overqualified to do the things I was doing in that global company. So I always felt I'm very knowledgeable, but at the same time, I tried to be enthusiastic and stay motivated and be curious about the projects, especially when I see the results and contribution that I'm making. At work, I always try to surround myself with a similar kind of people like me who work hard and who play hard. In general, I've been always an independent person, a person who could see the large picture and the end results. I always stayed away and tried to avoid office small talks. I really hate gossiping and spreading rumors. I'm the type of employee who would come to the office. Sometimes I noticed that and people would change the topic. So I don't know if I demonstrated it myself or maybe it's my personality, but at work, I prefer keeping to work topics, and have some fun, but never contributing to something unproductive or dish about other employees. So about a year ago, I woke up in the morning and I found myself unwilling to continue working as a corporate HR, nor as any kind of employee. During my HR career, of course, I had my ups and downs, and sometimes a vacation would be enough to wash away my stress and resistance to work. But at this time, a year ago, I knew that it's nothing similar to anything I was experiencing before. I understood it's the last drop and I'm taking an infinite break. And I think that this pandemic exacerbated resentments about how I want to live in the future, if I want to keep my personality, stay true to my values and appreciate what I have, like my loved ones, my family, my parents, my friends, and just general environments. My decision to quit the corporate world is based on three major things that I couldn't tolerate anymore: hypocrisy, micromanagement, and lack of transparency. So I think this is very common in HR world because HR has to play a role, and I think I was sick and tired of being someone I am not, doing something that I don't care about, working on something when I feel there is no proper attention, recognition, and appreciation after that. So my years of growing frustration with all those three things that surprisingly exist all over the world. This hypocrisy, micromanagement, and lack of transparency and distrust exist everywhere. Since the start of the pandemic, introduction of different employee reportings about what they accomplished during the day and installing different tracking softwares to their computers brought to the last drop, after which I said, that's it. I don't want to contribute to such a place anymore. I felt so bad that so many employees on different levels, starting from interns to senior vice presidents, they were reporting on their time and tasks that they completed not because they loved the job, but because they were forced to do in order to keep their position in the company. Just a week before I had an issue with one of our senior HR colleagues I was closely working with, I received a digital thank you certificate with my name on it. This is a piece of paper that thanked me for being there when the company needed me to be. I didn't keep that certificate, of course, because I don't need it. When I received that electronic thank you certificate, I didn't think about anything except the fact that the certificate looks very distasteful. Basically, it takes less than 5 minutes to copy paste your name and that's it. But just after a week of being recognized for my outstanding HR services as an HR team member and having good KPIs, surprisingly, I wasn't instructed how to handle such requests, and I made a mistake by actually trying to help that very employee. So not intentionally, I disinformed one of our colleagues about office policy, and in 5 minutes after that, after sending my feedback to that employee, I was cyber-attacked by my colleagues, including my manager, for not responding correctly. So I was very apologetic, of course, and I said I will send another message to that employee with my apologies and that this question would be readdressed to another department to handle, and please disregard what I sent you before. But basically the question was very administrative. Well, actually, I'm gonna tell you what was it about. It was an employee who wanted to come to office to have his chair. The chair, guys.
You serious?
Unfortunately, even being apologetic and trying to correct the situation, I received several messages from different HR colleagues, including my manager, who were scolding me for my reckless answer. So I don't know if it was fair or not. Maybe it's the culture in that organization to treat an employee like that, or it's just a pandemic nature of work that made people really mean to each other. I would gladly research studies about corporate psychopaths and how to recognize them if one day you encounter them on your working place, and I'll share my findings here on this channel in my future videos. But this situation made me feel miserable. I remember I was sitting in my living room. My apartment was total upside down, and my 3.5-year-old son was at home for 4 months, which is 121 full days, because daycares were closed due to pandemic, and I couldn't do anything with that. At that moment, I wish I had someone who could come and help me, but all my relatives, my parents, live on a different continent, and I was basically alone with my husband, who was also working too, and we were struggling with our own pandemic issues and my own health problems due to disorganized workstation. So maybe that's why I was happy to help that employee who asked for a chair, because he told me that he had some issues, and I felt the same because I had issues too. So I would just say, oh my God, I understand you so much and I want to help you as quick as possible, but I shouldn't ever take that email, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have opened it. Another interesting moment I want to share is that right before the pandemic started, I had a conversation with my managers who wanted to shift my working hours to the night hours instead of day hours, because it's a global company and they wanted an HR to work during the night. So, but basically I said no, and I cannot work like that. First of all, I cannot do it. My biological hours tell me that I need to sleep at 3 a.m. And secondly, HR department is not an emergency room. There is nothing critical going on, really. HRs are not doctors who need to save someone's lives. It's freaking admin work, sorry. But at that moment, I thought that, what if I make a mistake because I'm distracted, or because I didn't have enough sleep, or something else? I mean, I have no focus. Would they crucify me and rip my tongue and cut it to pieces to fry it and hand it out to stray dogs publicly? I was crying, and my 3.5-year-old son came up to me and saw me crying, and he said, with all his attention and concern, "Mommy, why are you crying? Are you in pain? So I don't remember what I said exactly, but I was thinking it over and over just to imagine me saying the truth to my son, like, I'm crying because I have problems at work, because I'm bullied, because I took more than I can chew. I tried to help, but instead I made everything worse. Now I'm feeling like a 5-year-old girl who was lectured by the people who should have supported me instead, or at least had the capacity to forgive and not scold. I was terrified as a mother, as an employee, because I didn't know how to manage my life anymore. And I was failing at both. And each day, starting at 9 a.m., I was internally struggling to turn on my laptop. I was living in fear about what I could possibly do wrong again. I didn't notice vividly in the beginning that the whole department and the company in general was full of toxic people. So, eternal fake competition with each other and fake praise, fake help, just to backstab you and tell the manager that they helped me and take the credit. It was the last straw. So after that incident, when I was cyberbullied and thrown under the bus without being instructed properly, I don't know if I ever can come back to office again. So what's now? I am my own boss, as you can see. So I work on my own projects. I'm an HR who is still loving my work, my profession, but I just want to do it differently. And currently I conduct one-on-one with clients. I have followers in my different social media accounts. I'm helping people to get jobs, to pass the interviews, and so on. So I also started an online shop in Amazon. And after making a deep research, I launched a product, and I'm really, really proud of it. I do have big plans for the future, and if you stay connected with me, you will see and know everything when it's ready. How do I feel today? I feel liberated. I also understood that quitting something doesn't mean you are a loser or a weak person. It takes courage to change your environment and start something new from the scratch, and that thing that would be meaningful to you. And I'm learning so many things I couldn't even imagine I'm capable of doing this. And I'm listening to myself, my intuition, and I follow my natural talents. I became less stressed. I'm far away from being depressed. I'm finally investing in myself. I'm reading a lot of books, spending time with my family. So I'm very productive during the day, so I could work through my fears, and I just feel thankful to that situation. It's a blessing in disguise that conflict in the workplace actually happened, and it helped me to open my eyes and focus on those things that really matter. But I'm still a stupid dreamer. I'm optimistic about workplaces, that one day corporations become better and change. And I feel relieved that I don't have to prove to someone my worth. The only person I need to prove myself is actually myself. I want to be able to make decisions, and if you are choking with your work, you are crying, you are in bad mood every time you think about your work, and maybe you already started to develop some symptoms of being sick. So just listen to yourself, because everything is happening for a reason, and you need to listen to yourself and change your situation, change something that is not working for you anymore. Do I regret quitting the corporate world? No, I don't. Can I come back again? Yes, I can, possibly with the management that will match me. So I never felt better in years than I'm feeling now. And there are no more tight shoes, no more meaningless agendas and fakeness. And I say yes to hard work with value and meaning and rewards, and I say no to things that hurt me. So I hope I shared something valuable to you in this video and share my insights from my story, and I hope you feel supported. I post videos about HR stuff, how to get your dream job, how to navigate through the job search process and stay competitive on the job market. And drop me comments. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.